Chapter 1301, Approach of the Great Era. Central Continent, Hidden Dragon Cave. Greetings to Superior Immortal from Heavenly Court. Two Gu immortals knelt on the ground, one old and one young, a grandfather and a grandson. They were Gu immortals from Wind Cloud Manor. The young Gu immortal was Feng Chanzi, while the elderly man was Old Man Bei Feng, with rank 8 cultivation level. Among the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent, he was famous, and without any mishaps, he would have become a member of Heavenly Court already. It was not easy or normal to become a member of Heavenly Court. Rank 8 cultivation level was not enough. They had to be elites among rank 8s. This standard had never been lowered since Heavenly Court was created. Heavenly Court did not waver in this aspect. Too few was better than too many. And this Old Man Bei Feng was now kneeling on the ground, expressing his reverence. The person he was kneeling to was an extremely weak old man. He was shaking as if a gust of wind could blow him away. But this old man was not ordinary. He had a huge origin. He left a deep mark in Heavenly Court's history. He was Duke Long. Get up. Bring me inside. Duke Long said plainly. Yes. Old Man Bei Feng acknowledged that a moment later, Duke Long came to the deepest part of Hidden Dragon Cave. This was a deep earth trench. It was larger than the earth trench that Northern Plains Zombie Alliance had to. It was possible to stuff thousands of cities into it easily. Duke Long and Old Man Bei Feng were tiny like dust specks compared to it. From their view, the entire earth trench was covered in darkness. This darkness was so deep that one could not see through it. Rumble. Suddenly, the entire earth trench started shaking intensely. The two sides of the earth trench started to have falling rocks. The earthquake caused incredible sound waves that would make people shell-shocked. Old Man Bei Feng's expression changed. He quickly used the immortal Gu in his immortal aperture. Suddenly, bright lights shone as countless auroras and flowing water weaved together dazzlingly. There was actually a huge super Gu formation here. In contrast to this Gu formation, the one that surrounded Southern Border's dream realm was just a kitten compared to an elephant. Old Man Bei Feng controlled the Gu formation. His expression quickly changed as his forehead was covered in sweat. The commotion is so huge. As a great rank 8 Gu immortal, he was actually feeling difficulty now. This super Gu formation was suppressing a terrifying life form. Old Man Bei Feng could only barely deal with it using the super Gu formation. It seems that after so many years, you are still so lively. Xianxia. At this time, Duke Long spoke plainly. Roar. At the next moment, an overwhelming dragon roar filled the entire earth trench. The super Gu formation's aurora lights were dispersing. Flowing water was disrupted. Old Man Bei Feng's forehead was dripping with sweat. He thought, this is after the super Gu formation's isolation. The volume is still so loud. If I have to face this evil dragon directly, I am afraid. Duke Long was unmoved. He assessed. It seems your temper has not changed. You are still so feisty. Accursed old man. This time, a voice came from inside the Gu formation. The voice was just as loud to the next moment. A huge dragon head appeared from within the aurora light and flowing water. It was evil dragon. Xianxia. This immemorial desolate beast had a huge origin. It was a legendary immemorial desolate beast created from endless hatred, anger, and grudges. All these negatives emotions in Central Continent's earth veins. It was born of nature because it was created from the collective negative emotions of humans. After it was born, it had intelligence that matched humans. Initially, it could only roar and growl, but after learning, it could use Hope Gu to awaken its aperture. It learned human language, and for some time, it turned into a human and tried to master Gu immortal methods. For some time, it wreaked havoc in Central Continent. It caused great distress and chaos in the world, but eventually, it was suppressed by Duke Long. It was suppressed for countless years, but Heavenly Court could not kill it because it was formed from the negative emotions of humans. As long as humanity still flourished, the evil dragon would continue to grow stronger every day, even if its body was destroyed or completely decimated. Soon, it would form from new earth veins and continue to cause chaos in the world. That was why Heavenly Court used a super Gu formation to suppress this evil dragon. The people guarding the place were rotated from time to time. This time, Feng Chanzi sold immortal materials for his own profits. he was punished to guard Hidden Dragon Cave. And his grandpa knew that he could not do this alone. So he gave up the chance to join Heavenly Court and came to look after this evil dragon. After the evil dragon saw Duke Long, it became incredibly furious. The meeting of enemies filled with animosity. Why are you roaring and growling? You cannot escape from this prison. Duke Long said plainly. Xianxia heard this and no longer raged. It laughed. Ha! I almost forgot. Accursed old man, you are going to die soon. Your lifespan is reaching its limit. You only have one last chance of extending your life. Even lifespan goo cannot save you. Haha, this is hilarious. So what if you suppressed me? I am alive while you are dying. Duke Long nodded. You are right. Sometimes, I envy you. You have a long lifespan from birth. You innately have longevity. This might be the last time we meet. Let me borrow 10 years of life from you. Saying this, Duke Long sucked in a breath. Old Man Beifong was shocked to find out that as the guardian, he instantly lost control of this goo formation. That Xianxia was suppressed by Duke Long. This super goo formation was created by Duke Long personally. Duke Long was the true owner of this super goo formation. Roar. Xianxia let out a painful cry. Duke Long was still sucking. Old Man Beifong could not tell what Duke Long was actually sucking. It seemed to be a sort of life essence that could not be seen with the naked eye. It was forcefully extracted from Xianxia's body, sucked into Duke Long's own body. It seems that this super goo formation is not purely for suppressing Xianxia. It has this kind of effect. Old Man Beifong had an epiphany. During the process of sucking, Duke Long's body inflated like a balloon from its twig-like appearance. His pale yellow ragged face faded to a normal color. His pale white hair also turned dark. He was hunchbacked earlier and had fragile bones that emitted cracking sounds, but it had straightened now. Most evidently, the pair of horns on his head were originally shriveled like 2 lumps of meat, but now they shined with a metallic luster, piercing towards the sky. Bam! His peak rank 8 aura burst out like an invisible wall, pushing outwards. Old Man Beifong took a step back uncontrollably. Looking at Duke Long's majestic background, he had a sense of admiration in his heart. In contrast to Duke Long, was evil dragon Xianxia. That it said in a hoarse voice. Damned old man. That is merely 10 years of lifespan. It's like I'm giving a pool of piss to you. Ha ha. It was still laughing, but it was very weak now. Duke Long clenched his fists, saying nonchalantly, Evil dragon, you do not understand. How can I, Duke Long, fear death? I woke up this time to make up for my previous mistake. 10 years is more than enough. Enough for? What are you trying to do? Evil dragon asked. What else? The great era is coming. Duke Long said with deep meaning. Great era? Great era. Don't tell me. The earth veins will merge, the regional walls will vanish, and the 5 regions will become one? Wait, accursed old man. Don't go. Tell me everything. Xianxia shouted. But Duke Long sneered. Why would he care about a captive? He turned around and left Hidden Dragon Cave without any hesitation. Southern border. A nameless place. River water was surging. This was a tributary of the River of Time. Xianxia and the rest had been waiting by the riverside for a long time. That a figure emerged from the tributary of the River of Time. Quick! Let's quickly give Lord a helping hand. Xianxia saw this and shouted. Hey Lu Lan and Bai Ningbing worked together beside him, activating the goo formation. Under the effect of the goo formation, Purple Mountain True Monarch escaped from the tributary of the River of Time. He was like a drowning person. He barely managed to crawl ashore. He breathed roughly and was soaked to the bones. Purple Mountain True Monarch actually managed to return safely after entering the River of Time. Bai Ningbing was expressionless, but she was shocked on the inside. Lord, did you succeed? Seeing Purple Mountain True Monarch regain his composure, Xianxia asked this. Purple Mountain True Monarch nodded. I went into the Red Lotus and interacted with that will. My gains were phenomenal. Is that so? Xianxia was overjoyed, but Purple Mountain True Monarch had a solemn expression. I used Red Lotus True Inheritance to observe the past and future. Before Feng Yuan was reborn, our shadow sect had succeeded. We delayed the Great Era by 500 years. We exterminated the future Great Dream Immortal Venerable before she matured. We even had Heavenly Court completely under our control. It is a pity that Feng Yuan changed everything. Shadow Sect cannot stop it anymore. The great era is coming. Ying Wuxie had an extremely shocked expression. Bai Ningbing and He Lulan looked at each other, feeling puzzled. The former asked coldly, "What is the great era?" Ying Wuxie breathed in deeply and answered, "The earth veins will merge, the regional walls will vanish, the 5 regions will become one, and Great Dream becomes venerable. This is the great era." He Lulan and Bai Ningbing were stunned at the same time. Feng Yuan went back to southern border using Wu Yihai's appearance. He was back in Wu clan. "I am finally back. This time, I must absorb the dream realm and go all out in raising my attainment levels. There is enough time. After 500 years, during the 5 regions chaotic war, I might become a great grandmaster of every path already. I am looking forward to it." Chapter 1302, Divination Tortoise Transformation. Southern Border, Wu Clan. Feng Yuan entered Southern Border. Using Wu Yihai's appearance, he went all the way back to Wu Clan's headquarters. Knowing that he was back, Wu Clan's current first Supreme Elder, Wu Yong, summoned him. "Brother, these are the immortal goo that I borrowed from the clan. I am returning them now." Feng Yuan returned the immortal goo in his hands that Wu Yong received them and smiled as he sat in the main seat. "Was your journey to Eastern Sea fruitful?" Every goo immortal had their own secrets, especially someone with a special status like Wu Yihai. Wu Yong could not probe excessively. His question was really just small talk. "I had great gains." Feng Yuan showed some joy on his face. It was very realistic. "That is good." Wu Yong nodded. He would not be able to imagine how great Feng Yuan's gains were. After leaving Southern Border, Feng Yuan chased after Shadow Sect's remnant forces. Even though he did not succeed in killing them, his gains were huge. Not only did Feng Yuan obtain Perseverance Immortal Goo and become the Reverse Flow River Lord, his battle strength surged, and he could go unscathed against rank 8 Goo Immortals. Lu Guanyi's reputation was renowned in the entire world. Furthermore, while returning, he participated in an Eastern Sea trading convention. He obtained Divination Tortoiseshell Immortal Goo and rank 6-day Goo. "Thank you for the concern, brother. I wonder when can I return to the Goo formation to cultivate. Please arrange it for me." Feng Yuan said with a polite and humble tone that Wu Yong was very satisfied with Feng Yuan's performance. These last days, he had control of Wu Clan. Because Feng Yuan backed down, there were few obstacles in Wu Clan. He successfully took over the clan and obtained the highest authority. Right now, Wu Yong was already different from when he first took over. He was more composed and grand. He gave off an indomitable aura. He had great authority. He was very happy about Feng Yuan's attitude. Clans were different from sects. Bloodline was very important. Wu Yihai's status in Wu Clan made him very special among Wu Clan's Goo Immortals. In terms of bloodline, he was solely inferior to Wu Yong and was above everyone else that Wu Yihai wanted to cultivate in seclusion. Wu Yong was sure to satisfy it. Thus, he agreed. "Return to your residence and rest first. I will arrange this. In a few days, it will be ready." "Thank you, brother. I will take my leave." Feng Yuan left after seeing that his objective was achieved. He had a home in Wu Clan. When he first joined Wu Clan, he was assigned by Wu Clan to live on this bare mountain. Wu Yong is starting to be in control of Wu Clan. Wu Yihai's identity is very sensitive. If he worked with an ambitious clan like Xiao Clan to create lots of problems, Wu Yong would have a huge headache. Thus, to play safe, Wu Yong would not let Wu Yihai roam around and make contributions for the clan and increase his reputation. Other Wu Clan Goo Immortals were fine. But Wu Yihai was not that, or rather, not for now. Wu Duxiu had just died. Wu Yong was in control of Wu Clan, but it was not a stable position. Feng Yuan was very aware of Wu Clan's situation, that he was not worried that he would be unable to return to the Super Goo formation. While staying on the mountain, he cultivated, but his immortal aperture could not be placed down. Not to mention opening the immortal aperture's entrance and taking in heaven and earth chi. My Sovereign Immortal Aperture's foundation is too deep. Each time it absorbs heaven and earth chi, the commotion is huge. Winds would surge and clouds would move. But Reverse Flow River really consumes a lot of heaven and earth chi. It seems that I will need to go to Etion Mountain later to take in heaven and earth chi. Only by replenishing it will I sustain the sovereign immortal aperture and prevent my foundation from falling. This was a form of burden, but it was a good one, even though Wu Yong asked him to rest. Feng Yuan did not rest, he continued to cultivate. He was fighting against time. During this period, many Gu immortals from the clan came to visit Wu Yihai, who had a special status, but Feng Yuan rejected them all. This attitude made Wu Yong very pleased. He felt that Wu Yihai was not trying to interfere in the clan affairs. Thus, he gave Feng Yuan a lot of immortal materials under his own name. Not only was he trying to reward and appeal to him, he was also trying to gain reputation for being a caring brother. At the peak of the mountain, Feng Yuan, who was inside his huge house, had turned into a tortoise. This tortoise was as large as a house. It was black and had a thick and tough shell. There were countless markings on its shell. It was difficult to observe, but it had a certain order that it was a divination tortoise. This ancient desolate beast was associated with wisdom path. After transforming, Feng Yuan's transformation path Dao marks turned into wisdom path. With his wisdom path Dao mark accumulation, there was a huge quantitative change. With this foundation, Feng Yuan could use wisdom path deduction methods with greater efficiency. It was at least several times, or even more than 10 times that of before. Simply divination tortoise shell immortal Gu. In terms of the Gu worm itself, it could not compare to attitude Gu or wisdom sword immortal Gu. Even flying sword, sword escape, and dragon breath were better than it. But regarding Feng Yuan, it was extremely useful. Suddenly, a brilliant light shined in the divination tortoise's eyes. After 10 or so days of hard work, I finally succeeded in deducing the killer move. Divination tortoise transformation. At Feng Yuan's will, he turned back to human. Next, he tried to use the newly completed divination tortoise transformation killer move. Once, twice, thrice, after more than 10 times, he finally finished making his adjustments. A new divination tortoise transformation. He added in a lot of transformation path mortal Gu, like tortoise head Gu, tortoise tail Gu, tortoise leg Gu, and others. There were also some wisdom path Gu worms, to increase the divination tortoise's ability to block deductions, until Feng Yuan reached his limits. There were also many defensive Gu worms. Of course, there were only 2 cores. Point 1 was rank 7 divination tortoiseshell immortal Gu. The other was change form immortal Gu. The brand new divination tortoise was larger than before. It was lifelike like an actual ancient desolate beast divination tortoise. Especially the tortoise shell, countless Dao marks were weaved together in a crisscrossing fashion. There were an enormous number of them. Very good. I have reached my current limit. Feng Yuan experimented and felt very pleased. This was all thanks to his wisdom path and transformation path grandmaster attainment levels. Deducing these killer moves was as simple as drinking water. Similar to the ancient sword dragon transformation, which combined transformation path and sword path. This divination tortoise transformation was the combination of transformation path and wisdom path, and now, Feng Yuan had a new fighting method. It was not an incomplete version like before. This could be fully used in battle, and most crucially, the killer moves ancient sword dragon transformation, reverse flow protection seal, and myriad self could not be used in battle, but this divination tortoise transformation covered the flaw. It solved Feng Yuan's current problem. Feng Yuan stopped the transformation and rested to regain his mental energy. He closed his eyes, and his mind entered sovereign immortal aperture. Landscape, as before. The rank 6 immortal Gu was used, targeting reverse flow river in the immortal aperture. Red date immortal essence was expended rapidly, while reverse flow river started to produce river water under the power of landscape, as before. The efficiency is too low. Feng Yuan sighed. This was not his first experiment. He was quite disappointed. Landscape as before immortal Gu. Even though it was effective on reverse flow river, the effect was mild. This formed a clear contrast to Luo Po Valley and Dang Hun Mountain. Why is it that using landscape as before on Dang Hun Mountain and Luo Po Valley had such incredible effects, but on reverse flow river, it barely works? Feng Yuan was puzzled. Was reverse flow river more special than the other 2 secluded domains of heaven and earth? What other reasons were there? If he could repair reverse flow river immediately, that would be great. He would have an unceasing supply of reverse flow river's water. But reality was less than perfect for Feng Yuan. Wait. Danghun Mountain and Luo Po Valley were once in the possession of Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. And Spectral Soul Demon Venerable was the creator of sovereign immortal fetus Gu. Maybe these two secluded domains of heaven and earth were modified by Shadow Sect, just like how He Lu Lan and the others could use immortal Gu of other paths without being restricted by Dao marks. Feng Yuan had a flash of inspiration. His guess was right. Not only did Shadow Sect have a method to allow Gu immortals to cultivate other paths without facing conflicting Dao marks, they could also modify secluded domains of heaven and earth to allow immortal Gu of certain paths to be very effective on the secluded domains of heaven and earth and not face conflicts from Dao marks. In Time Path, immortal Gu were fully effective on Danghun Mountain and Luo Pa Valley. They would not be resisted by the vast number of Soul Path Dao marks in them. This was because landscape as before and man as before belonged to Shadow Sect. They were passed to Tai by Yun Sheng through Purple Mountain True Monarch as for Reverse Flow River. Shadow Sect did not have it. They had no interest in this river either. Thus, Reverse Flow River was not modified. When Feng Yuan used landscape as before on Reverse Flow River, it was weakened by its vast number of Dao marks and had little effect. And this was already because Feng Yuan was the Reverse Flow River Lord. Otherwise, landscape as before's effect would be reflected upon him. Reverse Flow River lost a lot of water. The rank 8 existences depleted a good amount. But thankfully, it is recovering, even though the speed is very slow. Can I use Reverse Flow Protection Seal to resist immemorial year beasts? Feng Yuan shook his head. Using Reverse Flow River, he could at most defend himself. If an immemorial year beast tried to destroy the immortal aperture, he could do nothing against it. He thought about this because Feng Yuan was concerned about the sealed rank 8 immortal Gu. Years flow like water. Even though his battle strength surged greatly, Feng Yuan was still unable to unseal years flow like water currently. Like this, Feng Yuan cultivated silently, waiting for Wu Yong's arrangement for returning to the giant dream realm. But a few days later, a minor mishap occurred. Chapter 1303, Divination Tortoise's Power. Chapter 1303, Divination Tortoise's Power. Southern Border, Wu Clan. In the hall, Feng Yuan, Wu Yong, and another Gu immortal were present. He had a tall body. He wore a black and white coat. He had a long beard that extended downwards to his chest. His eyes were slim and long. A mysterious light was hidden in them. His body was covered in mist. Wu Clan Gu immortal, Wu Yu Bo, a prideful person with peak rank 7 battle strength. It was only slightly lower than old Treeman Bada. Gu immortal, Yan Huang challenged Yu Bo. The reality is that Xia clan is after Moon Bowl. This place produces Moon Path Gu worms. It is one of the most important resource points of our clan. We cannot lose. Wu Yong said. Since I am going, there is no need to worry. If I can defeat Yan Huang twice, I can win a third time. Wu Yu Bo said coldly. Moon Bowl was not a bowl. It was a valley. But this valley had a peculiar shape, resembling a bowl, and because it produced Moon Path Gu worms, people called it Moon Bowl. Moon Bowl had a village in it, but when Wu Clan expanded, in order to take over Moon Bowl, they eradicated this village. There was a Gu immortal in this village. He was known as Immortal Yan Huang. Wu Clan sent out Wu Yu Bo and defeated him. Immortal Yan Huang could not defeat them and had to escape in tears, abandoning his home. Wu Clan was a righteous path clan. They needed a proper reason to take over Moon Bowl. They could not kill Immortal Yan Huang directly. This was the rules of the righteous path. Immortal Yan Huang left with hatred. To take revenge, he hid his identity and practiced his killer moves, but he still lost to Wu Yu Bo a second time. After Wu Clan learned of his whereabouts, they knew that this enmity was unresolvable. They gathered Gu immortals to assassinate Immortal Yan Huang. But at the crucial moment, Immortal Yan Huang was saved by an unknown force. Wu Clan wanted to pursue it, but at that time, Wu Du Xiu died. Wu Clan was in chaos, and Wu Yong had just taken over. He needed to suppress the situation. This gave Immortal Yan Huang some time to recover. Until now, a few days ago, Immortal Yan Huang sent a challenge to Wu Yu Bo with Moon Bowl as the stake. Whoever wins would obtain Moon Bowl. Wu Clan was the #1 super force in Southern Border. How could they not accept it? But Wu Yong's worry was that immortal Yin Huang was here after joining Xia clan. A super force, he was no longer all alone. This meant that the mysterious force which helped immortal Yin Huang earlier was undoubtedly Xia clan. On the surface, this was immortal Yin Huang challenging Wu Yubo. But the truth was, this matter was significant. It was the contest of two super forces. This challenge had been spread widely. The attention of many southern border forces and Gu immortal experts were drawn to it. After Wu Duxiu died, even though Wu clan was still the #1 force, its reputation had fallen. Xia clan was the first challenger of Wu clan's dominance. If Wu clan lost this, the other clans would smell weakness and everyone would be tempted to target Wu clan. There would be huge problems. This was Wu Yong's worry. Immortal Yin Huang's open challenge was now the first hurdle of Wu Yong's rule. Yubo, don't be careless. You know how important this is for our clan. Wu Yong sighed. That Yin Huang joined Xia clan. He is given aid by them. They must have ill intentions and be amply prepared this time if they are challenging you. First Supreme Elder, you only need to wait for good news. Wu Yubo had a nonchalant expression. He glanced at Fang Yuan and said, in my opinion, we don't need to bring so many people. This Yin Huang is just a loser. I can easily capture him. We should play safe. My brother is skilled in 3 transformations. He is a rank 7 expert. With him guarding you, I can rest assured. Wu Yong said that Wu clan had a huge territory. Even though there were many Wu clan Gu immortals, they were split up in many places. They lacked manpower. Originally, Wu Yong was planning to send Fang Yuan to the Super Gu formation. But now that this happened, Wu Yong had to send Fang Yuan to guard Wu Yubo. After all, immortal Yin Huang was not alone. He was accompanied by Xia clan Gu immortal xianxia. Fang Yuan had joined Wu clan. Although he could reject this, there was no harm in going. Fang Yuan agreed. This was a good task. He only needed to stay on guard. After it was over, the clan would reward him for the help. That Wu Yubo did not care, but Wu Yong insisted on it. He could not reject it. This matter was decided. A few days later, Wu Yubo went to the designated location with Fang Yuan. Over there, xianxia and immortal Yin Huang were waiting already. Immortal Yin Huang looked like a middle-aged Gu immortal. He had a mature expression and ordinary appearance. After seeing Wu Yubo, his expression changed. He stared with wide-opened eyes, like they were spewing fire. But that xianxia had a special disposition. His body stood tall and straight like a mountain peak. He had a square face and white hair. Especially his beard, it was tough like needles. His eyes were shining brightly. Wu Yubo, you destroyed my village and killed my descendants. I will return all this humiliation to you today. Immortal Yin Huang growled. That Wu Yubo sneered. Simply slander. I did that to find traces of blood path and uphold justice, eliminating evil for this world. You are not a righteous person, and you dare to smear me. You deserve death. The two fought immediately. Fang Yuan and xianxia watched at the two ends of the battlefield, staying on guard for their respective Gu immortals. There was nothing to say. Everyone knew the real reason, but the righteous path had to put a front of righteousness over their intentions. Immortal Yin Huang was a fire and earth path dual cultivator. On one hand, his flames were like rising dragons, emitting tremendous heat. On the other hand, rocks were rumbling. There was a huge commotion. Meanwhile, Wu Yubo cultivated water path. He moved like falling leaves. He was grand and swift. There was grace in his actions. His body was covered in water vapor. There was drizzle from the sky, but the rain was able to dissolve all of immortal Yin Huang's flames and rocks. Evidently, Wu Yubo had the upper hand. However, the battle had just started. Both sides were probing. They had not used their immortal Gu or immortal killer moves yet. Fang Yuan watched as he investigated the surroundings. He was defending against xianxia. In case he used any sneak attacks, xianxia seemed very relaxed. He looked at Fang Yuan at times, smiling when his gaze met with Fang Yuan's eyes. This made Fang Yuan feel uneasy. Xianxia was a wisdom path Gu immortal. He was famous in southern border. He was a high-level character. The battle continued. Both sides started to use immortal Gu and immortal killer moves. Immortal Yin Huang was always suppressed and pressured by Wu Yubo. The advantage the latter had was becoming clearer. Victory was near. Fang Yuan did not dare to be careless. If he failed his job, He would be punished when he returned to the clan. Yin Huang die. It is your honor to die from my signature killer move. Wu Yubo had deep killing intent. A cold light was shining in his slim and long eyes. He activated his immortal killer move. Rain poured down as clouds gathered. Dark winds were howling. The three fused together to form a ball-shaped cage capturing immortal Yin Huang. Immortal Yin Huang was trapped inside and could not leave. He was in a desperate situation. He was about to die. Fang Yuan closely observed xianxia, guarding against his intervention, but xianxia had a smile on his face. He watched casually, seemingly having no intention to interfere. But at this time, immortal Yin Huang suddenly laughed loudly. The aura of countless goo worms appeared from his body. A bright light was shining from his body. Immediately, the cage that trapped him broke apart. How can this be? Wu Yubo was shocked. He was caught off guard. His signature killer move was broken. He immediately suffered huge injuries. The lava under immortal Yin Huang's feet gathered and formed a battlefield. This was an immortal battlefield killer move that Wu Yubo had a pale expression. He was trapped inside the battlefield. The situation had turned around. Wu Yubo was in grave danger with this sudden change. Fang Yuan wanted to help, but xianxia flew to him, warning him, Wu Yihai, don't be the shame of Wu clan. Fang Yuan chuckled. How can an outsider like you determine if our Wu clan is shameful? Saying this, he turned into a divination tortoise and charged into the lava battlefield. Xianxia praised Fang Yuan's resolute decision internally, but he did not move slowly. In that case, have a taste of my killer move, Scattering Mind. A wisdom path immortal killer move. Xianxia used his signature killer move right away. It was a powerful method. Any Gu immortal hit with this would feel their mind wandering. There would be random thoughts colliding in their mind. Their battle strength would be greatly affected. If they were careless, they would fall into confusion and be unable to help themselves. Fang Yuan chuckled. He kept charging towards the battlefield killer move without caring. Fool. Xianxia mocked coldly, the next moment. His scattering mind hit Fang Yuan, but it dissipated. While Fang Yuan was unscathed, Xianxia's cold smile froze on his face. How can this be? This is divination tortoise. Xianxia finally recognized Fang Yuan's transformation. He had a bitter expression. The divination tortoise was a wisdom path ancient desolate beast. It was skilled against the deductions of wisdom path Gu immortals. This wisdom path killer move was created from the concept of deduction. It was completely countered by the divination tortoise. Bam! The battlefield killer move was broken by Fang Yuan as the divination tortoise entered, immediately saving Wu Yubo, who was in danger. Xianxia was about to interfere, but Fang Yuan said, Our Wu clan has lost. This battle is over. Moon Bull is yours. After hearing this, Xianxia stopped. Immortal Yin Huang wanted to attack, but Xianxia stopped him. The former had no choice but to watch with hatred as his enemy escaped. Why did you let him go? Immortal Yin Huang roared. Xianxia looked at him coldly. We have already won Moon Bull. Our objective has been met. It is not the time for you to kill Wu Yubo yet. Don't forget that you are an external supreme elder of Xia clan. You have to think about our clan's benefits first. This time, Xia clan had won. If they pursued this matter, Wu clan would fight back with force. Xia clan did not want to be Wu clan's target and lose in the end, allowing the other forces to benefit. Chapter 1304. Happily Getting Immortal Gu. The Wu clan ranks 7 Gu immortal. Wu Yubo lost to immortal Yin Huang. This matter was intentionally spread by Xia clan. Soon, the whole of Southern Borders Gu immortal world knew about it. Everyone was moved. Wu Yubo is a rank 7 expert, a famous battle strength of Wu clan. He lost to immortal Yin Huang. Immortal Yin Huang is not weak. Now that he has Xia clan's help, it is not that hard to defeat Wu Yubo. Wu Yubo is arrogant and prideful. It is quite shocking that he lost to a person he defeated before. The important thing is that immortal Yin Huang broke through Wu Yubo's signature killer move. This is impressive. Perhaps Xia clan's Xia Lu Pei helped him to deduce it. Xia clan had a wisdom path Gu immortal who was famous for being a deduction expert in Southern Borders Gu immortal world. It was Xia Lu Pei. This time, Wu clan lost face. Not only did Wu Yubo lose to immortal Yin Huang, he even nearly lost his life. If not for Wu Yihai, who broke through the battlefield killer move, Wu Yubo would not have survived. Seriously? Yes. All sorts of goo worms have been passed around. They record the scene of that battle. Wu Clan actually lost Moon Bowl. Hee, this is a huge joke. Well, if we trace the origin, Wu Clan had snatched Moon Bowl previously. This is what Wu Clan deserves. Ha. Now that Wu Duxiu is dead, Wu Clan cannot keep its title of number 1. Losing Moon Bowl was not a problem for Wu Clan, which had vast territory and wealth, but Fang Yuan had intervened to destroy the battlefield killer move and save Wu Yubo. This made Wu Clan fall into a passive spot. This was the difference between righteous path and demonic path. Fang Yuan had saved Wu Yubo. This was against the rules of the fight. Wu Clan had lost face as a result. And the problem was, there was hard evidence regarding this. They could not deny it. Xia Clan's wisdom path Gu. Immortal Xia Qingcang was the one guarding Immortal Yin Huang. He was a meticulous person and had used information path Immortal Gu to record the scene. They were targeting Wu Clan. They naturally came prepared that Wu Clan had to admit their fault. After Fang Yuan returned with Wu Yubo, Wu Yong gave orders to punish Fang Yuan. Because he had gone against the rules of the fight, he was punished to be secluded and had to compensate some immortal essence stones. Fang Yuan had saved Wu Yubo. This was a merit. But for Wu Clan, they had lost face. Even though they saved a rank 7 Gu immortal, and it was much more important to them than face. Fang Yuan had merit, but Wu Yong punished him. But he had no grudges. He accepted his punishment and returned to Wu Clan's headquarters, staying in his mountain and not leaving. The incident of Moon Bowl was still escalating. The impact was increasing that Wu Yubo was a prideful person. After losing to Immortal Yin Huang, he felt incredibly ashamed. He declared that he was going into secluded cultivation after returning. He would claim victory in the future. Even though Wu Clan lost Moon Bowl Valley and Wu Yong punished Fang Yuan, who broke the rules, Wu Clan's reputation had unavoidably declined. And most importantly, Xia Clan's actions were an inspiration to the other super forces. Righteous path and demonic path were different. The righteous path had its own rules. Xia Clan used these rules. Even though Wu Clan lost Moon Bowl, they did not object. Xia Clan was special in southern border, and even among the 5 regions. Because this super force mainly cultivated light path and wisdom path. Even though wisdom path Gu immortals were rare, Xia Clan had 5 wisdom path Gu immortals, and some of them were strong experts. Among the wisdom path Gu immortals of southern border, Xia Clan was the domineering force, having a huge proportion of them. It was not strange that Wu Clan was plotted against by Xia Clan. The other forces saw Xia Clan's success and were all moved, wanting to imitate them. When Wu Duxiu was alive, Wu Clan was domineering, taking over resource points from others, expanding their territory. Incidents like Moon Bowl were numerous. They had many enemies like Immortal Yin Huang. This was what other forces could use to deal with Wu Clan. All sorts of intelligence was arriving. Wu Yong had an ominous sensation. He felt like a storm was brewing towards Wu Clan as expected. After Moon Bowl, Luo Clan approached Wu Clan with similar reasons as Xia Clan. Next, Qi Clan and Chai Clan also attempted to get a share of Wu Clan's Inspiration Cocoon Cave and Spring Sun Mountain Range. Wu Yong oversaw the situation from the base, deploying people outside. But Wu Clan's territory was too big. They lacked manpower. They could only maintain the situation at best. Wu Clan was in trouble. Wu Yong had a huge headache, but his brother Wu Yihai was living a comfortable life inside the sovereign immortal aperture. Let me go. Please let me go. Ma Hongyun's soul screamed in pain. But Fang Yuan ignored him, continuing to soul search him. Hongyun's soul could not endure such torture. He quickly became very weak. Guts Gu. Fang Yuan used 1 Gu worm to replenish Ma Hongyun's soul, before continuing his soul search. You evil fiend. Kill me, kill me. The intense pain in his soul made Ma Hongyun unable to endure it. He continued to curse, scold, cry, and beg, but Fang Yuan was unmoved. A moment later, he stopped at him. Hongyun's soul was very diffuse, like mist that was about to vanish. But next, Fang Yuan smashed 1 Guts Gu and Ma Hongyun's soul healed. I have finally excavated all of the luck path true inheritance that Ma Hongyun had. But Zhao Yin is not dead yet. I can still continue to keep Ma Hongyun's soul. It has value. Hee. Fang Yuan had killed Ma Hongyun by accident in Reverse Flow River and obtained his soul. These last days, he had been soul-searching. After confirming that he had fully excavated everything, Ma Hongyun had no secrets in front of him anymore. Fang Yuan thus obtained a portion of the all-living beings' luck true inheritance. Self-luck, all living beings' luck, heaven and earth luck. These were Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's 3 true inheritances. Self-luck was in Langya Blessed Land. All living beings' luck was in 88 True Yang Building. And heaven and earth luck was in Longevity Heaven A.S. Imperial Court Blessed Land was destroyed. 88 True Yang Building collapsed. And the all-living beings' luck true inheritance was destroyed as well. However, back then, Ma Hongyun and Zhao Lianyun were protected by the all-living beings' luck true inheritance. They each received a portion of it. After so many events, Fang Yuan's soul searched him and obtained this portion of the all-living beings' luck true inheritance. Thankfully, old ancestor Shui, who wanted to use Ma Hongyun to refine fortune rivaling heaven and needed a healthy Ma Hongyun. Thus he did not do anything to his soul. When Ma Hongyun left Imperial Court Blessed Land, he was captured by Shadow Sect's Qin Baisheng. Since he learned about the all-living beings' luck true inheritance, Shadow Sect also knows. Fang Yuan analyzed. In this portion of the true inheritance, the greatest value was fortune rivaling heaven Immortal Gu's recipe. Ma Hongyun remembered the details. This was the core essence of the all-living beings' luck true inheritance. It was not strange that it was because Ma Hongyun knew of this Immortal Gu recipe that old ancestor Shui, who learned of it after buying him, resulting in him having the intention to refine fortune rivaling heaven Immortal Gu. Fortune rivaling heaven Immortal Gu. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly. According to this Immortal Gu recipe, even if he used up all of his wealth, he could not complete 10% of the recipe's needs. Unless he had a living Gu material like Ma Hongyun, he could save a lot of precious refinement materials. Fang Yuan could barely give it a go. But how would Fang Yuan dare to refine fortune rivaling heaven Immortal Gu? This was a rank 8 Immortal Gu. Brazenly trying to refine a rank 8 Immortal Gu. What would happen? Old ancestor Shui, whose outcome was an example. This was the #1 Gu immortal with the highest battle strength in Northern Plains. But he was not doing well now. Not only did his refinement of fortune rivaling heaven fail, he lost Reverse Flow River and Snowy Mountain Blessed Land. Even his beloved wife Lady Wanshou was injured. Even though I have a lot of assets now, and the Sovereign Immortal Apertures Foundation can rival rank 8 Gu immortals, my Immortal Essence Stone and Red Date Immortal Essence storage is low, and most importantly, I have few resources that are high in value. This time, Fang Yuan chased after Wu Xia, from southern border to eastern sea to northern plains. It consumed a lot of immortal essence. And inside Reverse Flow River, he created an immortal killer move. Reverse Flow Protection Seal was the most costly immortal killer move that he had. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture's production was incredible, but because I reduced the rate of time to stall calamities and tribulations, the efficiency fell drastically. Even though I am still earning profits, my expenditure is huge too. Especially the feeding of Immortal Gu, Wisdom Sword Immortal Gu and Attitude Gu have not had their feeding settled yet. I still need more funds for them. Fang Yuan wanted to solve the problem of food. He also needed to store immortal essence for emergencies. His current situation was quite awkward a while ago. He had to pay immortal essence stones for saving Wu Yu Bo against the rules. It added to his problems. Slowing the rate of time causes my immortal aperture to produce more slowly. This way, I can only expand production to emphasize on quantity instead. But what resources do I expand production of? This is an important consideration. Some resources are already oversupplied in the market. If I expand production, it would only harm me. While Fang Yuan was thinking about this, Wu Yu Bo's will brought an immortal Gu and flew towards Fang Yuan's mountain. Thank you for saving my life. Lord Wu Yi. This rank 6 Vajra Thought Immortal Gu will be my expression of gratitude. Wu Yu Bo's will actually gave Fang Yuan an Immortal Gu. Vajra Thought Immortal Gu. Evidently, this was a Wisdom Path Immortal Gu. Fang Yuan had benefited from this Moon Bowl incident. He gained an Immortal Gu. Even though it was rank 6, Immortal Gu were unique. They were priceless. Chapter 1305, Vajra Thought. This Vajra Thought Immortal Gu was fist-sized. It looked like a translucent glass, shining with golden lights. It looked very appealing. Fang Yuan held it in his hands. It was heavy, as if he was holding a piece of gold. The process of changing owners was very fast. When Fang Yuan refined this Vajra thought immortal goo successfully, Wu Yu Bozwell said goodbye and flew away. Obtaining a rank 6 immortal goo like this, Fang Yuan was not surprised, because he had merit. Fang Yuan saved Wu Yu Bo. It was a huge merit in Wu clan. Even though he broke the rules and Wu clan lost face, they preserved a precious rank 7 battle strength. Evidently, his merits surpassed the problems he caused. Even though Wu Yong punished Fang Yuan understood why. This was the righteous path. They had to do it on the surface that Wu clan had to reward Fang Yuan. But Wu Yong could not do it himself. Once he did, the political implications would be different. If it were found out, others would use it to attack his reputation. Thus, Wu Yu Bozwell had to do it. This Vajra thought immortal goo was supposedly Wu Yu Bo's personal gift to Fang Yuan, but it was actually Wu clan paying for it. There had to be this middleman. It was the righteous path's way, another immortal goo. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly. Ordinary goo immortals might be happy, but to Fang Yuan, the implications were different. He had too many immortal goo. The burden was huge. But Vajra thought immortal goo is a wisdom path immortal goo. I can use it to make up for some of my weaknesses. Fang Yuan did not lack wisdom path attainment level. He lacked wisdom path immortal gu.I in the past. He only had attitude goo and unravel mystery goo, but now he had affection goo and Vajra thought goo. 4 wisdom path immortal goo. This was enough. With Fang Yuan's wisdom path grandmaster attainment level, he could use them well. Fang Yuan instilled red date immortal essence, attempting to activate this Vajra thought immortal goo. Immediately, golden thoughts appeared in his mind. These thoughts were small and exquisite. They shined with a metallic luster, giving off a tough feeling. When the thoughts collided, they created clanking sounds. Fang Yuan tried to use these newly produced Vajra thoughts to deduce, but he found that these Vajra thoughts were not good at thinking. The thoughts were hard to fuse. They often broke apart. Fang Yuan thought as expected. He was not surprised. Vajra thought immortal goo itself was not good for thinking. It excelled in fighting. Fang Yuan mobilized these Vajra thoughts in his mind. These thoughts were small and exquisite. When they left his mind, they expanded in the outside world, becoming fist-sized golden balls. There was bright light shining on their crystal-like surface. Fang Yuan sat on a cushion. Hundreds of Vajra thoughts were floating around him. At once, golden light shined and gave him an extraordinary AI or at his will. A Vajra thought flew out. Swoosh. It was very fast. Thoughts moved rapidly to begin with. Thoughts moved faster than light in one's mind. When the Vajra thought was in the outside world, it was not as fast as in the mind, but it was still rapid. This speed is half of sword escape immortal goo. Fang Yuan's eyes twitched. He was satisfied with this speed. Sword escape was a rank 7 immortal goo, and one with great speed. Vajra thought immortal goo was only rank 6, but the Vajra thoughts could have half of sword escape's speed. Of course, for immortal goo like Vajra thought, even if it was raised to rank 7 or 8, the quality of the Vajra thoughts produced would not change. Only the quantity would vary. In theory, mortal Vajra thought goo could produce Vajra thoughts no different from those produced by the immortal goo. The difference was the quantity. Rank 5 mortal Vajra thought goo could produce 100 Vajra thoughts at once. But Vajra thought immortal goo could produce thousands or even tens of thousands of Vajra thoughts at once. Then what was the power of one Vajra thought? Fang Yuan aimed at a tile on the ground and shot out the Vajra thought. Bam! The Vajra thought created a trail of golden light as it crashed into the tile, drilling deep underground. Fang Yuan nodded. The power was decent. This place was a mortal goo house. The defensive power was too weak for goo immortals, but it was not useless. The power of the Vajra thought made Fang Yuan think of bullets from Earth, but it was much larger than bullets. One use of Vajra thought immortal goo can create thousands of Vajra thoughts. If they are all shot out together, it is quite a sight. Wait a second. A flash of inspiration appeared in Fang Yuan's mind that he thought of 2 goo immortals. One was Dong Fang Chong Fan. The other was Yi Lui Kun Xing. The former had an immortal killer move called Myriad Star Fireflies. The latter also had an immortal killer move. It used star fragments as the core. The longer he fought, the stronger he became. I have Vajra thought immortal goo. Why don't I imitate myriad star fireflies and create an immortal killer move? Fang Yuan considered it. Intuition from his wisdom path grandmaster attainment told him that this would not be tough. Thus, Fang Yuan stopped activating Vajra thought immortal goo. He pondered and began to deduce the immortal killer move. He was imitating myriad star fireflies, using Vajra thought immortal goo as the core. The process was smooth. There was little difficulty. It all went according to Fang Yuan's intuition. An hour later, this immortal killer move was half complete. A day and a night. Later, Fang Yuan turned into a divination tortoise to deduce it without rest, finally obtaining the complete immortal killer move. Fang Yuan did not name this immortal killer move because he had a new inspiration. Just this immortal killer move with rank 6 Vajra thought immortal goo as the core is not powerful enough. Maybe I can use divination tortoise transformation to modify this immortal killer move and raise its strength. This modification would not be easy. Even though he had Grandmaster Wisdom Path and Transformation Path attainment level, combining the two paths would not be an easy task. The modification took a long time, but Fang Yuan was not anxious. The outside situation was quite calm now. Even though Shadow Sect was around, and Heavenly Court and Longevity Heaven were pursuing him, as long as he used the Dream Realm, Fang Yuan's foundation would continue to grow rapidly. Undeniably, with reverse flow. Protection Seal, his confidence had risen greatly. 3 days later, the modification of the killer move was not done. He was only at 30%, but Wu Yong had summoned Wu Ehai in the hall. The two brothers talked. Wu Yong told Fang Yuan, if he was not happy with Vajra thought immortal goo, he could choose a rank 6 immortal goo from the clan's treasury and exchange it. The reason was, after Fang Yuan accepted Vajra thought immortal goo, he did not make a move. Wu Yong thought that Fang Yuan was a lone immortal and did not know how the righteous path worked. He might have really assumed that it was a gift from Wu Yubo. This would not do. Wu Yong summoned Fang Yuan and hinted to him that this Vajra thought immortal goo was all because of this elder brother's efforts. And using the excuse of exchanging goo, he expressed goodwill to Fang Yuan that he did not know that Fang Yuan understood the entire situation. He was just pretending to be unaware. It seems that Wu clan is in trouble now, because they lack goo immortals. Wu Yong wants to make use of me. Fang Yuan immediately understood Wu Yong's intention. Fang Yuan did not want to interfere in Wu clan's matters. But recently, many super forces were cooperating to emit pressure on Wu clan subtly. There were many problems. Wu Yong was busy dealing with all of them. And over at the giant dream realm, Ba clan was leading the goo immortals in giving trouble to Wu clan. Originally, Wu Yong wanted to send Fang Yuan there, but Ba clan was creating problems. The pressure at the super goo formation was increasing. To play safe, Wu Yong did not want to change people now. Thus, Fang Yuan's plan of going to the super goo formation was stalled. Thank you for the concern, brother. I would like to take a look at the inner treasury as well. Fang Yuan had created an immortal killer move using Vajra thought immortal goo, but he still wanted to look at the immortal goo inside the inner treasury. Last time, he had chosen immortal goo from the outer treasury. The immortal goo inside the inner treasury were much better and had greater value as the #1 force of southern border. Fang Yuan was excited about what was inside Wu clan's inner treasury. There were few immortal goo in the inner treasury, but they were all the best of the best. But Fang Yuan had too many immortal goo now. He mainly wanted to probe Wu clan's foundation and gain more information about them.